Hi, as you can see, I chose the movie Seven Samurai, the epic Japanese period film that was written and directed by Akira Kurosawa in 1954. I began with this clip because I thought it was a great, in a nutshell, clip. Not really because it shows us the plot, but you get a feel for the seriousness, the action, a little drama, and even some of the camera work. The film is epic because it has a strong theme in humanism, and the director was a genius with the camera, and he somehow just came up with this perfect formula for a great samurai action movie that left a lasting impression. This 3.5 hour film is based in the 16th century. The film is about these two groups of people that come together and work together, even though in this time period they wouldn't usually work together. The samurai are kind of like in a higher class than the farmers, but the farmers are having these bandits come into their land and steal their harvest from their crops. And so they basically go to the samurais and ask for protection. And one is the leader, and he recruits the six others, and he has to let them know that all they will be getting in return is a bowl of rice. But the samurai come into the village and they help train the people, and they prepare for battle, and they end up being successful, and they win the battle. Some of the themes of the film are duty, passion, social status, tradition. There's plenty of action and even some fatalities in the mix of the violence, but really the main theme of the movie is humanism and people just coming together and just for the common good. Kurosawa often had themes of humanism in his films. Another one that he would have often was history. He loved making samurai movies, but with this one, he really wanted it to be just like a samurai's day. It was originally supposed to be like a documentary, and he was going to follow a samurai through his day of working in the castle, and he was going to make this error, and then at the end of the movie he would go and basically do a ritual suicide, but he couldn't find enough facts and historical information that were specific enough. So they kind of just scratched the whole thing, and him and his collaborators went back to the drawing board, and they found this fact when they were looking through history that samurais would work for food for these farmers because they have these thieves coming in and taking their things. So that's how the story was born. The camera techniques really make this movie. Kurosawa likes to do sweeping the action, and there's a few fighting scenes, like the one that I showed you earlier. It has the slow motion, which was like a really big deal then, and it's very dramatic. And also, he liked to do scenes that you would see the forefront and you would see far away at the same time. And then also, he did these great landscapes. So many times I found myself wishing that the movie was in color because the landscapes would have been amazing in color. Also, Kurosawa had a really great eye for anything artistic. Some of the techniques were probably at times difficult for people that were working with him to have to deal with. He always was very precise about what he wanted, and filming would often wait days and days because he wanted an exact type of weather. Just like the final battle scene in Seven Samurai, it is pouring, and it really it's awesome how there's just, it helps the sound and the picture. There's people just covered in mud and sloshing through these puddles, and it just, he does great work. This movie and the director has said to have changed the film industry on so many levels. But really, just the popularity of this film is kind of incredible. It's in and of itself kind of epic. It seems everyone has something to say about this film and its magnitude. The film was ranked 17th in the 2012 Sight and Sound poll of critics that they determine the greatest films of all time. And in the past, it's been ranked first and second on the same poll. It has been rated 100% on the tomato meter, which I think that's a pretty big deal. Yes, it was from the Japanese Golden Age, but not many movies have a perfect rating. This movie has also, it's been said to be the first of its genre, the action film where a group is formed and they accomplish this mission, and each member is kind of a piece to the puzzle, and they each have their personality that makes them unique and great. And in Seven Samurai, they focus on a few characters more than others, and but those characters are kind of like the mold to characters that they use in so many films. There's like the funny guy with the deep issue, and he's not really a samurai, but they end up using him anyways, and he ends up being a great fighter. And there's the inexperienced one, and he's just kind of innocent, and they don't really want him to be in the battle, but he also ends up being a great, helper in the end. And then there's the leader who's also the mastermind. He's wise. He kind of comes up with all the plans. Also, these characters, you just kind of, Kurosawa kind of makes you fall in love with them. Like you just like them. They're just kind of natural too. Kurosawa would set up all these cameras all over every scene, and it kind of makes it hard for them not to be natural because they don't know which camera's on or which one they're using at the time. And that realness just kind of goes back to Kurosawa, and his ability of his patience, and how he would want something just exact, just like that pouring rain scene that I had talked about earlier. Every scene is like art to him, and it ends up being very picturesque, and it definitely pays off that he was an artist before he was a director. He's kind of the key. He pushes the boundaries, and he pushed the traditional boundaries and gets into this genre of Japanese film that was just so great. And he was really known for being a little bit Western, and that's probably why he's so popular internationally. He influenced Orson Welles and George Lucas. I mean, that right there, that's huge for someone to influence the industry like that. Really, the film's it was just so epic because it's a classic. It has cutting edge cinematography, especially for that time, and the plot dynamics have become so popular in today's action films. It was a great film. That's my vlog. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you very much.